So to begin this haircut, what we're going to do is prep the top for our scissor work, and I'm going to go ahead and saturate our client's hair so it's easily moldable and easy to section as well. And the reason we're beginning with the top is because it's a lot easier to blend into the length, on top when you know exactly what it's going to be. Similar to when you do a buzz cut, we chop it down first and then do the fade. Same idea, we're going to begin by chopping down the tops to the desired length, and then all we have to worry about is blending into it. So we're just going to add some texture into the hair while taking off some length. She didn't want to take off much, we're only taking off about 1/4 inch, and we're starting in the front and moving our way back, grabbing little sections as we do so. And you'll notice I'm cutting in between the hairs, kind of in chunks, and what this is going to do is add texture, so that way when she styles it, there's a lot more movement and it's not as flat and straight as it would be naturally. So we're cutting at that slight angle, just bringing out that texture. And this technique here is called point cutting. And for those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Andre Morales, or obviously aka Dreclipperhands, and I've been a barber for 9 years. And about 6 of those 9 years, I've been creating content where I document my barbering journey and just share as I go. So that's my goal here today, is to share what I know on how to achieve this exact hairstyle. And after we completed the right side, we're just going to use that as our reference point or our guideline for the left side. So I'm just bringing it over, trimming everything to that length. Very simple, very easy. And I'm just trying to stay as neat and as organized as I possibly can. So I'm making sure that every section I grab, that I also grab a portion of the previous section that was already cut, and then I meet everything to that length. And before we get into the blow dry, I'm going to add some sea salt spray. And what this is going to help do is bring out the texture some more. Because when the hair is not styled and it's dry, you're not going to see much of the texture. It's really when you add product to bring it out. So I'm kind of just blow drying everything forward, and then I'll give some volume towards the front. And that is pretty much the style that we usually do. Very messy, organized but not organized look. But our goal here is to just dry the hair so we can get into the fade. So once the hair is dried, we're going to start off by establishing our bald line with the clipper closed. And I'm starting at the end of the eyebrow and dropping it towards the back. And my goal here is just to give a fade that complements, the head shape a little bit better, and not as uniform or straight back as most fades would be. This will give you a little bit of a better angle of what it looks like from the side. And already you can see how it kind of curves around the ear, drops in the back, and helps us to maintain that weight in the back of the head. Because if we were to go straight back with it, a lot of times you risk the chance of taking off too much hair in the cowlick area. This is going to help keep it full looking and dark. And you'll see for that next guideline, I'm coming in with my lever open, and I'm giving myself room to blend. I personally am not a fan of a fade that's too condensed or too small, because it might look good up close, but when you take a step back, that blend just kind of looks like a bow cut in a way. So I like to make my blends nice and gradual, but being sure that I keep the top of that fade dark so the blend really pops. So when I'm establishing these guidelines, I like to give myself about a finger's width, and all that means is put your finger at the previous portion that you cut, and then where you want that next guideline to stop, and make the guideline that width. And usually for most people, that is a good enough distance that you can have a nice gradual blend. And now we're to the biggest guard that we are going to use, which is our 2 guard open. So we're coming in and scooping out because we don't want to take this blend too high. We want to keep the top of the fade as dark and as full as possible, because this specific client is trying to grow out the parietal ridge area, so there's a little more movement and it's not as tight of a fade. But we're going to blend down after this 2 guard with our 1.5 open, And then you'll see me close that lever little by little until that line is completely blended. And then we're just going to work our way down from this point, and then after we get through all our guidelines, we'll do some clipper over comb and scissor over comb to blend into the top. After that 1.5, we're going to drop down to our half guard with the lever open. And you'll notice I always start with the lever open and then close it little by little, because you can always take more hair off, but if you take too much off to begin with, you can't do much but raise the fade. So when getting rid of lines, I always like to start with the lever open and then close it little by little. And as you can see, this blend is coming together very nicely. It suits our head shape very well. And we're continuing to work through our system and work through our process of fading. And now for the last line, we know we established that line with the clipper closed. So I'm going to come in clipper closed once again to tap at that line. And as I move towards the middle of that fade, I open up the lever little by little until it is completely blended. And you'll see me utilize a lot of the corner of the blade, because what that's going to allow me to do is reduce the chance of me taking the fade any higher. Right, because when you use the corner of the blade, it allows you to be a little more detailed and getting rid of any dark spots or imperfections in the blend. And it also allows me to keep that kind of rounded shape that drops in the back as well. And you might be asking yourself, man, I wonder why you kept the hair at the bottom of the fade. Really, there's no strategic, reason why. I just think it gives me better contrast when I'm blending. So it's really just a reference point from the blend to the dark hair. But you could shave it at the beginning if you wanted to. But now we're going to start at the top of the arch and the bottom of the arch and just line up our hook or arch area, because it's going to also bring out any imperfections that you might need to go back and detail. And we are going to keep the front line up natural. We're not lining that up. We're just cleaning up her arch area. And now we're going to the bottom of the fade and we're going to bald it out with our trimmer. Now you want to be careful to not take the trimmer up into the fade that we have done, because we don't want to raise the fade or create any lines. So we're stopping right where we left off with that clipper closed and balding out the bottom. And to get it slightly closer to the skin, we're going to come in with our foil shaver. And we're staying even below the trimmer line with this as well. We kind of want to pull the skin up and flick out with our shaver, just as if we were fading with our clipper. And this is going to get the bottom of that fade nice and smooth so that blend can last and really pop. And now we're going to move over to this other side and follow that same exact process and system. Now in real time, I would have did this all around the head, but because I'm recording it and showing you, through a tutorial, I did one side and then we'll go to the other side, as well. But in real time, you could do this process all the way through and it'll get you the same result. But speaking of system and processes, if you feel like you've been looking on YouTube at haircut tutorials, but you feel like you just need a little more in-depth education, I have the answer for you. I have an online training program for barbers where I teach you my exact system of hair cutting, the reason why I do certain things, so that way you can give out those Instagram quality haircuts in an efficient time span. Because we all know you can give out a fire haircut if you have a 2-hour appointment. But when you're in the barbershop and you want to make money, you want to get people out in an efficient manner. So in Dreclipperhands Academy, I teach you my exact system of cutting to give out those quality Instagram haircuts, but do it in a way that you can stay on schedule with your appointments. So if that is something you are interested in, go ahead and tap the link in my bio to join my online training program. You'll also be thrown into a Discord community of barbers who are hungry and want to grow as well, which is always beneficial because the people you are closest to, the people you talk to, are often the people who your life will resemble, right? And if you want growth, if you want to go to that next level and reach all you can reach in this industry, the community that is attached to Dreclipperhands Academy is phenomenal. So you can go ahead and tap the link in my bio and join today. I hope to see you there. And now we're just getting rid of that line below the 1.5 with our lever open on the half guard, just like we did on the other side. But you'll notice on this side she has a scar in the back of her head. I don't want you guys to think I patched her. So we're just working around that, trying to make the blend look as clean as possible. Now every client has a more difficult side, and in this scenario her left side was a lot more difficult than the right side, so I'm paying a little extra attention to detail here as we work with this half guard. And now for the last line, I'm going to come in with my clipper closed, and as I move up within this blend, you'll see me open up that lever notch by notch until we're completely blended in. And as you can see, we're still working at that bottom line, trying to get it nice and blended and connected to the right side. And after we get through our fading system, even if it's not perfect, we're gonna go ahead and line up the hook. So I started at the bottom and went to the top to connect those 2 points in the middle, and that'll give us that nice arch shape without digging into the hair too much. And I really like this look, especially on her and her head shape. Instead of lining up the complete front, we just line up the arches. I think it's a clean look, it's a more natural look, and it suits this haircut a little bit better. But after we go ahead and line up the arch, we're going to go ahead and shave down the bottom just like we did with the other side, and this blend is coming together nicely. And you can see the redness there on the bottom of her neck. That is not due to my trimmer or anything to irritate her skin. That it's a birthmark that's just there naturally. So for those of you guys in the comments like, man, Drace tugging at her skin. Nah, it's naturally red there. And now we're going to come in with our shaver to shave down the bottom. And this blend is hitting. It looks super clean. But we're being careful with the shaver to not take it up any higher and create any other lines. And right here, we're just doing some thinning shear over comb to soften up that transition into the top. And now we're gonna go ahead and recline our client just a little bit, and we're gonna line up the arches a little more. And we just want to get rid of the stubble, anything that'll grow back quickly. And now we're gonna go ahead and style it with some volumizing powder and some clay from Tune 45. This is really going to bring to life that texture that we created with our scissor work. And we're just going to work it through the hair and give it that messy texture look. But fam, this is the cut. We did a nice mid drop fade. I wouldn't say this fade is low. Gave some texture up top. But if this video helps you in any way, shape, or form, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And if you want more in-depth haircut education, join Dreclipperhands Academy. Link is in bio. But like always, I will catch y'all next time. Peace.